Hey everybody, welcome to the Best Family Homestead. So on this video, you guys have heard me talk over and over and over about the pecan wood, how great the pecan wood is. Well, in this video, we're going to be cutting this log and as many of those as we can throughout this evening and tomorrow. And I know you've seen it rough cut. It just doesn't compare. So I'm going to take a piece over and plane it. It won't be dry, so you know, it won't be able to be used right away till I get it dried. But it will let you see why I think pecan wood is the most awesome wood ever. Now this log, we're going to have to, I'm going to go ahead and trim it up. You can see where it split off a little bit here, and you know how it tapers. The crotch cut right here is going to be some of the prettiest wood. I'm going to go ahead and cut right here past the crotch. It's going to leave some pretty ends on the board. I've got to get this knot here leveled off. That knot's going to be used for some other stuff with a friend of mine turning some pens, like ink pens. And that should be pretty phenomenal. That'll be coming up. So I got a little bit of time left before I have to go coach. So we're going to try and get this log busted down so I can take it and show you guys how cool this wood really is. Alright, something I want you guys to think about here. How hard this wood is. This is a 28-inch bar chainsaw. So this is about 24 inches at least. And this chainsaw is a hoss. And it's still having a little bit of issues. Pecan wood is just hard as a rock. So I just sharpened this blade too. This stuff is no joke. So we're going to try and see if we can get this piece cut the rest of the way through, get that knot cut off, and then get it sawed. All right, everybody, so it is D-Day. Got a laundry list of about 5 million things that I've got to do today. Packing up the mill, packing myself, just a whole lot of stuff, you know, final checks on the trailer and all. We've got enough time to cut, I think, maybe 2 more logs. I think I can probably get 2 more, maybe 3. And then the rest of the logs, like I said before, we'll just stack up nice high off the ground, put a tarp on them, and they'll set until the next time Papa Hugh's nice enough to let me borrow the mill. One of the first things I've got to do, though, is make sure I pick the best log, since I've got limited time. And you can see this one, didn't see it till I flipped it over, it had a big rotten spot. So we're gonna take the chainsaw and we're gonna cut it about right here and see how deep that rock goes. And this one might end up not being millable, which breaks my heart. Yeah, seeing as we're on limited time, it's probably not as bad up here, but I'll have to cut a lot off of it. That's too bad. This was going to be a pretty log. But we'll save this one for another time. And when we put it on the pallets and cover it up, we're going to put a whole lot of borax on here, which will help get rid of all the bugs and keep any other bugs in the future from infesting it. So let's put this one back and get us another one. This one's real cool. See all the ferns and stuff growing on it? We're gonna pull some of this bark off so we can transplant these ferns somewhere. We pulled some mats off. We'll take probably some of this yaya, because I got plenty more on some of those other logs, and I want to strip it all off anyway, because when I store the logs, well, it'll die, but because it won't be able to get moisture. But I don't want it there to hurt the log. And of course, things never fail. Got a little bit too much slack in our drainage line. Apparently it caught the blade there. Picked up some more tubing so I can fix it. But if it's not one thing, it's another, especially when you're on a limited time crunch. thought I'd show you something. This right here is called spalting, and it's that's still hard, but it's right before the wood starts to rot. It just turns a really interesting color, and it always looks really cool. But there's a very small amount of time you got before the wood rots if it's left on the ground, between what's spalting and what is considered rot. So luckily we were able to catch this one before it got completely rotten. Now the other ones, once they're up off the ground and covered up with a tarp and some borax to keep the bugs out, we won't have any issues with any more rot, really, especially if I strip most of the bark off. Those logs will keep for a long time. All right, everybody, and that is a wrap. I wanted to get a couple more logs cut, but the morning has gotten away from me. Like I said, they're not going anywhere. I'll put them up and stack them up nice and neat out of the way, cover them up with tarp, and get back to them in 6 or 7 months when I get the mill back where Papa Hugh's not using it. So I'll show you guys a little bit of, you always hear me talking about pecan, pecan, pecan. This is one reason I love it. It's just such beautiful wood, and all from the same tree, and it all looks so unique and so different. This is, I think it adds some character. The beetle kill might have been done after it fell. I wish I'd been able to get around to sawing it earlier, so it wouldn't have been as bad. But this one's still a big old heavy log here, and I was going to try and squeeze a few more boards, but then I decided that this right here is going to be cut in half, and I'm going to make a really beautiful, I hope, bench for the porch of the old farmhouse. So stay tuned on that. So I'm going to finish getting all this stuff stacked up. Copper's going to help me out, I guess, by chasing me, and keep going with the rest of the day. I do want to show you guys a little bit more of the wood, that what I'm talking about, how pretty the pecan is. And so this isn't the end of the video yet. There'll be a little bit more. All right, everybody, so I told you I was going to show you another reason I love the pecan so much. I've got my little hand planer here, and general rule of thumb, I don't use this much. It's pretty easy to make a big mess. Might be all right for like really thin boards, but not wider boards. The biggest reason I use my planer, the hand planer, is to see what kind of wood I'm working with when I get some rough cut wood. So we're going to plane just a little section of a couple of these boards, just because I know I've been hyping this pecan up a whole lot, and I want you guys to see why I hype it up. All right, so you can see how pretty this is. And I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal. This was just with a quick hand plane and some 150 grit sandpaper. And one of the things I love about pecan wood, I never ever stain it. So you can see with the dust and stuff, you know, it's a little bit, turned a little bit white. But as soon as you put like a clear coat finish on it, it turns back just like this. Now, look at that. I mean, I don't care who you are. It just doesn't get much prettier than that. You know, think about that with on a pretty table or really anything. But it is by far my most favorite wood to work with, and I'm really glad I've got more logs to saw, and I've already got a pretty decent stack. I saw 3 or 4, so I've got a lot of wood to start with, and we'll get what I have dried either at a kiln from a lumberyard I know, see if they'll do it for me, or we're going to be building our solar kiln out here to dry everything. And so hopefully by the time I get the solar kiln built, I'll have the sawmill back here. I can finish sawing my pecan up. But anyway, guys, I've got to stop playing. A lot to do now. I had to sand some of this down. I mean, I just had to see it, had to take a look at it and see how pretty it was. Now back to the serious work. All right, everybody, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all next time.